Okay, so now we're going to talk about the explicit rule for your geometric sequences or exponential equations. So you have recursive rule. It's really similar in that it starts off with that f of n. Then you're going to multiply it by your first term. So your first term is 7 times your common ratio to the n minus 1. And that's it. And I know that was kind of small there, but we can start off with this guy here. So I'm just going to label it E for the explicit rule. And so we have f of n equals our first term of 6 times our common ratio of 4 to the n minus 1. Okay? Explicit rule. F of n equals our first term, -2, times our common ratio of -3, and this one needs to be inside of parentheses, to the n minus 1. Forget that. That was for your calculator. Okay, so the next one, we have explicit rule of f of n equals our first term, 10, times 0.3 to the n minus 1. Okay, and that's it. I mean, you gotta think our very first term. So each time we have our very first term here. So we have 7 on the first one. That is our first term, 7 right there. We have 6 for our first term. That's our 6 right there. We have -2 for our first term. That's our first term right there. 10 for our first term. That's our first term right there. Okay. So on the other side, on the next one, we've got 4, which is our common ratio. -3, which is our common ratio. We've got 0.3, which is our common ratio. Okay, so each time you're going to be using each formula, no matter what, you're going to be using the common ratio. It just depends on like which one I'm asking you to find the explicit or the recursive. Okay, the next video I'm going to go over 16 and 17 on it and walk through the entire thing, finding the common ratio and then finding the explicit rule and the recursive rule.